Have you ever heard of Amaterasu? Not the one on Naruto, but the real Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun. If you haven't, on today's song analysis, we're gonna talk about a song that is inspired by a particular Japanese mythology, Kami no Mani Mani by Reruriri. This song is one of those songs that not only it sounds fun, but it feels like you're listening to it while chilling around with your friends around the campfire, or maybe watching a fireworks at the night summer festival. It just feels warm, but it's actually quite depressing. This song is kind of inspired by Japanese mythology called Ama no Iwato. Maybe inspired is not the correct word, but I think the purpose of the song is perfect to be told through the story of Ama no Iwato. Ama no Iwato literally means heaven's rock cave. Please correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe if there's things that are missed in translation. In the story of Ama no Iwato, Amaterasu, the sun goddess, has two little brothers, the moon deity Tsukuyomi and the storm god Susanoo. Now, this one particular little brother, Susanoo, is the troublemaker. He broke through the berms of rice paddies, filled the irrigation with ditches, he does a lot of stuff. But his sister, Amaterasu, still tried to shield him. She protects him even when other deities in Takamagahara complained about him, because he's so rude. Until one day, he just crossed the line. She had enough, so she decides to run away to Ama no Iwato, the heaven's rock cave. Now, the problem is, remember how she's the sun goddess? After she secluded herself in the rock cave, darkness descended upon Takamagahara. Various evil occurred, and the light of the day is gone. And so the Yorozu no Kami, which translates to 8 million gods, they're coming together, they're discussing, what do we need to do now? They assembled to discuss what needs to be done. And so the god named Omoikane came up with various measures to lure her out. They're doing a lot of things, and one of those are preparing the Yata no Kagami, which is a mirror. And so after that, they all gather, they recite prayers, they dance, and while this is all happening, one of the god called Amenozume is divinely possessed. So while she was dancing, she exposed her breasts and like her genitals, making all the other gods roaring and laughing. And the laughter is so loud, Amaterasu could hear it. So she's curious, what was that all about? Why are they having so much fun without me? And so through the rock doors, she peeked a little and asked Amenozume, what's going on? And Amenozume was like, yeah, we're just having a welcome party for the new god, saying that they found another god that is better and more precious than Amaterasu. And she was like, what? She's curious. She wants to know, who is this new god? And so she opened the door a little bit more, and suddenly the other gods just showed her the mirror, Yata no Kagami, and she was struck for a while. But while that happened, the other gods pulled her out, sealed the cave, and tada, she's out. And turns out there's no new god. The mirror only shows her. And so the light in Takamagahara is back again. Now for the song. The title itself, Kami no Mani Mani, a Japanese native told me that it basically means Kami no kokoro no mamani. So basically at God's will, or like what the God wants, as what God says, like that. But the official English title is At God's Mercy. The song was released 9 years ago, but it suddenly popped out on my timeline again in my FYP. Maybe because of Project Sekai, I don't know. But I think the song tells us the essence of the story of Ama no Iwato. It expresses helplessness, like in the lyrics where they say, nothing ever goes the way I want it to, and I can't help but hate myself for it. To hide from these countless pains and sorrows, I've gone off on a search for a place I can hide away in. Here they say Yaoyorozu no Itami, which probably refers to the 8 million gods. But I think this refers to the time where Amaterasu felt helpless with her brother's attitude, how she causes troubles to so many other gods and herself. But I think we can also interpret it our own way, because we all felt helpless once in a while, or maybe all the time, for me. So yeah, when it gets overwhelming, sometimes we just want to run away and hide. Like in the lyrics where they say, I'd rather stay inside a rocky crevice and sleep without regard for the sun or moon. Why was I even born in the first place? I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Again, this probably refers to when Amaterasu runs away and seclude herself in the rock cave. But at the same time, I think it's so relatable to ask, why was I ever born? Especially when we feel helpless and useless, not knowing what to do. The second verse also goes with the same theme, like, I just want to be a fair person, I want to be a good person, and I'm sure everyone else wishes to be the same. But the countless imperfections in my heart that torment me every day. We can see that there's definitely a lack of confidence, like perceiving one's self with countless imperfections. There's even a lyric that says, why was I ever born? I guess you can call it a miracle. But that'd really be no more than a coincidence, so I guess there's actually isn't any meaning to it. So it goes from like feeling helpless and then feeling like there's no reason for us to be born, and then feels like, well, it's just a coincidence maybe, so maybe my existence in this world are just useless. Like at this kind of times, it is very, very easy to think negatively towards our own selves. But then the pre-chorus says this: while it may seem like that, it means you have the ability to become even greater. If there's guys out there who bully you, that means you're a very great person, and I'll tell you why. I think in a sense, this song tells us how to even be able to think like that, to have the will to be better, to feel like we are useless, to even question our existence. That itself is a sign that we are aware of our own value. We are aware of ourselves. And therefore, if we just continue trying, things will definitely get better. Because believe it or not, there are a lot of people in this world who just don't think. They just don't care. They are not aware of themselves. And then there's selfish people who focuses more on how to use people than how to be useful. Basically saying that to be able to even self-criticize is a sign that you're on the right track. But even so, don't be too hard on yourself. Which I agree so much, because I think the hack to living a good life is to know how to balance giving a and not giving a. Like once in a while, we should just let it go and live our life. Like in the chorus where they say, as the gods say, everyone loves the earth. You feeling this way and people feeling that way, that's all because everyone loves the earth. Everyone loves life. This might sound so fake and cheesy, but this reminds me of my song analysis on Gehenna, because even if mentally a lot of people struggles to think that way, our body as a human, we all have the instinct to stay alive. We naturally all want to be alive, which is why the song tells us to just live the life. Laugh it off. If you laugh, I laugh, all is forgiven. Whoever you are, boys or girls or non-binaries, we all just naturally love each other. And just like that, the world keeps spinning. The path might be muddy, it might be hard, but let's move forward because we still got a long way to go. One of my favorite part is the bridge where they say, the things which are truly important, they're unexpectedly amongst the seemingly worthless things. So let's mess around all together and dance unclothed, laughing loudly. The dance unclothed part probably refers to how Amenozume danced naked and got the whole squad laughing. But essentially, I think it tells us how a simple, silly, goofy act can be such an important thing. Just like how this particular dance leads Amaterasu into being curious and eventually got out. And like maybe we too can take a breather and look at the small things. Just the small things in our lives, like your favorite food or maybe your favorite song, your favorite artist. And how maybe those things are like the things that keeps you going, the things that motivates you. And yeah, maybe dancing naked in the middle of the woods isn't so bad. But yeah, in the last chorus they said, that's right. As us the gods say, at our every command, I'm able to love myself even more and more. Take a look in the mirror, you finally understand, don't you? You are the light which lets everyone shine. This just sums up the whole song and the whole story of Amano Iwato. Because just like how Amaterasu was led to think that there's a better god who would replace her, and then ends up facing a mirror where she could only see herself, maybe, just maybe, we just did not realize how meaningful our presence is to other people around us. And I believe anyone has a meaning in this world. So yeah, while we're talking about this, I suggest you to take a look in the mirror and love yourself just a little bit more. Because maybe just like Amaterasu who felt helpless, like they can't do anything, maybe it turns out that you're the light who lets everyone shine. So yeah, I think the meaning of the song is pretty obvious. I just find the reference to Amo no Iwato and Amaterasu really interesting to talk about, especially since Japan has like a lot of gods and shrines, and each of their stories is really interesting. And since we're talking about gods, I do have these teachings that I learned from my religion, and that is how God will never give you a test that you can't finish. God will always know how much a person can handle. So whenever it feels hard, just know that it is hard, but it's never too much. And I'm sorry if you're not religious, but even if you're not, I think you can think of the world as a game. And I think there's no game where it's designed for you to lose. You just have to level up, and in the end of the day, clear the boss. So yeah, that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!